Good evening. Welcome to the Molchanovs movement. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Molchanovs dashboard. And can actually people raise hands? Are you currently a Molchanovs member? Are you currently a Molchanovs movement member? Yes, yes. Cool. Yes, cool. Okay. Virtually everybody on Zoom is. Is there anybody who is not a Molchanovs member who is interested in becoming a Molchanovs member? Oh, okay, we've got one of those two. Cool. So what I'd like to do is give you a tour, a quick tour of the dashboard. And the dashboard, the Molchanovs dashboard is is kind of the home of the Molchanovs movement. And the movement is based around training and community. And so the dashboard is essentially the kind of hub for that for us. And I'm going to just walk you through some of the functionality and walk you through some of the things, some of the tools that are available to you there. So how do you get to the dashboard? You can just go to molchanovs.nac.com, or if you just go to molchanovs.com and go into the Freedive menu, you can see that the dashboard is a function there on the menu there. And so we come here to the dashboard, and this is the members login. So you need to be a Molchanovs member to have access to the dashboard. So how do you become a Molchanovs member? There is a couple of ways. One is that if you take a Molchanovs course and you are registered for your course by a Molchanovs instructor, you are immediately given a membership into the dashboard. You can also take a base training induction course with an instructor. So you're not going to be taking a full-on wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 course, but you are currently a freediver with a different system, and you can always take an induction to become a Molchanovs movement member. And then there is going to be a third path to become a Molchanovs member, which we're going to be revealing soon, but we're creating a path for people who are certified freedivers who are looking for a little bit more training and structure and a freediving community, and we're creating a path for those folks as well, which is going to be announced in the next few weeks. So this is where you come, and if this is the first time you've ever been to the dashboard, what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to click the password forgot. If you are already a member, we already have your email address. It's already in the system. You just need to set your password. So just go to the forget link, set your password, and you'll be good to go. So you sign in to the dashboard. So this is what the dashboard looks like. And this is the home page. It's divided into 3 sections. You'll see this section is information about you and general information. This is base training. And this is your course information. So if you've been signed up for a wave course, for example. So I'm just going to go through courses first, because that's probably the one which is I guess the least relevant for most new people coming in. So in the courses, so if you've been registered for a course, it should show up on this table here. So I registered myself for a Lap 1 course so I could show you how this works, but these are other courses that I have taken. And so when you've been registered for a course and you haven't been certified as a wave level, or you haven't taken a base training induction, you will not see the base training module. That will only appear after you have completed your course or you have completed a base training induction. So here, let's say you're taking a Lap 1 course, you're going to want to have access to the materials. So this gives you access to all the materials that you need for your course. So for example, your manual. And you'll be able to get full access to your manual here, for example. You'll also be able to take your exams and take a look at your course materials. So your online course materials. So we can start our course on wave one freediving and go through that as an example. You can also get some details on your course, and if you've completed your course and you've gotten a certification card, those will show up on your details. But that's pretty much it for the course, because the course structure is that you sign up for the course, you go through the materials, you take the exam, you need to pass your exam, then you're going to show up at the designated spot with your instructor. They're going to go through, they're going to review the materials with you, then take you through the open water and pool work, and then you'll be a certified freediver. Once you've completed your certification, you'll show up. When you take a look at your course details, it will tell you that your certification has been completed, and you'll get your card. So that's an example actually right there. You can see that this is a card, your certification card for that course. I'm going to pop up to the top here so we can explain a little bit about this, because we're going to start going into the elements of the dashboard which is relevant to base training, which is really the core of the Molchanov movement. Base training, because we're freedivers and we know as freedivers we need to train to basically get the benefit of freediving in our lives. And that's why the dashboard is built around training. But along with that comes community. And so there's community elements to it as well. But here you can see I'm in base 4, which is currently the highest level of base training. Base 4 is fairly difficult. I would say it's kind of competitive level training. This is the lightest badge that I've received, and I'll talk a little bit about badges and benchmarks. And I have these individuals as mentors. And the mentors are people who can provide you some guidance, can change your base levels, and you can designate your mentors at any time, which I'll show you. So first of all, let's talk about badges. What are badges? So if you are in the freediving journey, you know that after a while, you don't get personal bests every day, right? Like when you start, probably you're knocking out personal bests every week or every month. As you kind of improve, those are going to become fewer and fewer. And then after a while, they may not even be coming once a year anymore, depending on how much you're training. And so badges is one way to just kind of provide us a little bit of encouragement and motivation in a fun way. So the badges can be awarded by any instructor to any student, and they can be badges for certain benchmarks that you've accomplished. They can be for what we call the complete freediver, which means that like we have the 145 freediver, meaning that you've done 100-meter dynamic, 40 meters of depth, and a 5-minute static. That will get you the 145 badge. We also have just experienced ones. So for example, if you take a look at the naturalist, my personal favorite, the naturalist badge is you need to dive nude to 30 meters and have some videotape evidence of this. And if you do that, then you get the naturalist badge as an example. And then we also have what are called challenge badges. And these are more community-based challenges. Our most recent one is the apnea squat relay, which is going on right now, which is a lot of fun. So then you also have benchmarks. So what are benchmarks? So our personal best is one measure of how we're doing as freedivers, but often it doesn't give you enough granularity about what you're doing well and what you're not doing well, or what you need improvement on. So the benchmarks are our way of bridging that gap. They are measures which are more specific to a particular aspect of freediving. So for example, the Sweet 16, what we call the Sweet 16. The Sweet 16, a 50-meter Sweet 16 is 50-meter dynamics. You're allowed to breathe at each end of the 50-meter pool, and you have to complete 16 by 50 as quickly as possible. And that is probably one of the best CO2 measures available to us. If we have a very good sweet 16 time, we know our CO2 tolerance is quite strong. Now, it measures other things as well, but that's one aspect of it. The Tortuga race is where you do a 50-meter slow crawl. And the question is, how long can you go? And this is a very good measure of hypoxic tolerance. If you can do a slow crawl across 50 meters in 5 minutes, like the way Goran can, then you know your hypoxic tolerance is quite strong. So we're creating these benchmarks as measures for how you're doing in certain aspects of your freediving. And these things are going to develop over time. We'll be adding a lot more to the list. We'll be finding ones which are effective. We may be taking things off because we're not finding them as effective. But the idea is measuring the different aspects of your freediving potential and capability. So this is what your public profile will look like. So people who are interested in you, this is some of the information that they'll be able to see about you. They'll be able to see your base level. They'll be able to see your badges, your last badge, and your other badges. They'll be able to see your personal best, things like that. And you can always just take a look at the certification cards that you've gotten. So this is my W3I card and my W3IT card. And those are available just for quick reference. And as I mentioned before, you can change the mentors that you have. And these ones could be added to anyone. So I think a lot of that, Maria Antonia Vergara. So I'm going to add her as a mentor. So what does that mean? Now I will show up on her list of people that she's mentoring. She'll be able to change my base level if I ask her to do that, because I can't change my base level up. Things like that. So let's get into the meat of it, into base training itself. So what is base training? Base training is our system for creating a structured training program to help freedivers improve. And it's what we felt was one of the most important things of starting our own system, because this was, from our view, the missing piece. You finish your training certification, and then what do you do before your next certification? Base training fills that gap. And so the way it works is that we come up with a series of different workouts on a 12-week cycle. And we start a new 12-week cycle every quarter. So the first week of January, the first week of April, et cetera, every quarter, we're going to start a new 12-week cycle. And everybody is on the same cycle. And so if you're starting mid-cycle, it's totally fine. It's an attempt to build up to a particular period of time, but the exercises are good for any time, really. And you can always kind of scale up or scale down the difficulty of what you're doing. So every week, so it runs in 12-week cycles every quarter. And so this week, for example, we are in week 5 of the 12-week cycle. And so the theme for this week is keeping it dynamic. We're kind of in the process of doing the 12-week cycle. So let's start our WOW. So when we start our WOW, we're going to have just some extra materials here in case for the week, in case you're interested. And these are the different workouts that you will have available to you for this week. So we've got home exercises, open water exercises, and pool exercises in the specific disciplines. Sometimes they're mixed disciplines depending on your level and depending on what's going on. And we also will indicate if this particular workout has a benchmark in it. So if you're interested in registering your benchmarks, then it would be good to do this workout this week. So let me give you an example of some of the dry exercises. We're all kind of doing a lot of dry exercises these days for obvious reasons. So this takes you through the exercise, and you can log your workout down here. So you can basically kind of leave a record for yourself. You can provide some feedback on how you found the workout and provide some notes to yourself, as well as us if you like. if you'd like to leave a note for us about the workout or suggestions to change it, that would be great. We'll review that. We also break our workouts into different zones. And the zone concept is something that Natalia came up with, where we want to be training within a certain difficulty. And this is a very important concept for base training, which is that you don't want to be training, you don't want to be pushing yourself too hard all of the time. Most freedivers, when they start, they're very enthusiastic. They think, oh, it's all about, basically kind of like willpower to just power through the difficult times of training. But actually that's counterproductive, because it kind of wears on you, it kind of saps your motivation, and you'll burn out faster. So Natalia's answer to that was train within your area of comfort. And as your capability increases, then you can do more. And so all of our exercises in our pool exercises are going to be designated in a particular zone to make sure that you're training properly. And if you're finding the workout is too difficult, if you can't complete the workout in the zone that's being described, that base level may be a little too high for you. As I mentioned before, there are four base levels. And so, if you're finding a little bit difficult to do that particular base level, you can always dial yourself back to a lower base level. And it's completely up to you. I find that if I'm training a lot, then I can get up to base 4. But if I haven't trained for a couple of months, then it's probably better for me to do base 2, just to kind of get my capability up. So if you are doing a workout like this, for example, which has a benchmark in it, so you can see here, the zones are being described, the purpose of the workout. This is a pool dynamic workout, and we have a Sweet 16 benchmark, and you can log your benchmark results, and this will be available to you later so that you can see your benchmark results. And you can also log other aspects of your workout. So, so those are the workouts. That's the workout of the week. This is, we're also providing a PDF. So if it's easier for you to take to the pool, some people made this request to have the PDF available. So this is available. It's not always 100% the same as what's online. The online one is always going to be the latest and greatest, but this is available if it's more convenient for you. If you do the PDF workouts though, please do come back and log your results, because that's the way that you can kind of keep track of things. Okay, so let's go back to the home. And so let's say I'm finding base level 3 a little bit too difficult. Well, I can always reduce my base level by doing this. And I can, for example, I'm now base 4 and I can lower myself to base 3. I can't increase my base level because in order to increase your base level, there's a safety considerations along with that. So you'll have to ask an instructor to increase your base level if that's what you're interested in doing. I can always log a personal best as well. So if I had a personal best and I'm saying, my last personal best, I want to basically log a new personal best in static. Let's say I did 6 minutes and 5 seconds. And I can always log that, and that will be available to me in my history. And if I do a benchmark outside of a workout of the week, I can always log that separately as well. And that just leaves the workout logs, so I can see the benchmarks that I've already done. And I can see the details on the workouts that I've done. I can go back to take a look at the workout that I did, as well as the results, which is one of the reasons why we would recommend that you log your workouts so that you'll have access to that information later. Also, there's my base training history, which gives me my personal bests, the badges that I've won, as well as my base levels as I've changed my base levels. Okay. So that's kind of the element, that's the elements of the dashboards around base training. The other major element that I'd like to show today is the movement tab. The movement tab is where you're going to find the community functionality. And this is, we're improving this and we're adding functionality to this all the time, but this is kind of where we're currently at. So currently, the landing page for the movement is the challenges that we've been running. And so you can see that these are the individual, like we've been running the apnea squat challenge, and you can see some results. You can see the amazing performance by Morella, who scored a 604, which is superhuman. And you can see her workout there. If you haven't seen her performance, it's pretty impressive.
I want to clarify that on the dashboard, we only see freedivers that are part of the movement on that leaderboard. If you check out the open leaderboard, you're going to find everyone, because some people aren't part of the movement and they don't find themselves here. You're on the leaderboard on our website.
And we also have the teams. So right now in first place on the team challenge for the apnea squat relay is the Molchanovs Gold Diggers. And so you can watch their performance as well. You can also see kind of what the latest badges that have been awarded. You can watch videos on lots of different topics if you're interested. For example, let's say in something like equalization, we've got some content that's available for equalization. You can also find buddies. And so, for example, let's say I'm going to be going to Panama. And I really want to look for somebody, I really want to find a buddy who is a base 4 because, I want to find somebody of my own level. I can do a search and lo and behold, I can see that there is Maria Vergara in Panama. She's a base level 4. I can take a look at her profile, see some information about her, and I can send her an email message to start a conversation with her. So now a couple of notes about that. When the system sends an email, your email will also be revealed to the recipient so that you can start a conversation via email. And also, please don't send any commercial emails or spam through the system. That's not permissible. I can also search for instructors. So let's say I want to take my instructor course, and so I'm looking for instructor trainers within 50 kilometers of Singapore. Lo and behold, I can see that, hey, there's this instructor trainer, Chris Kim, and I can get his contact information to be able to contact him. Yeah, it looks like it's not working, but it's just kind of the way that the map is looking at. So those are the basic elements of the dashboard right now. It's changing rapidly. We're adding functionality. So some of the functionality that's going to be coming soon is going to be including the ability to book courses online. You'll be able to, there's going to be the more video content available for the workouts of the week, technique videos, things like that. So please do check back and check it out soon. Check it out often because it's changing day to day. Okay, and so I've gotten a couple of feedback, and so why don't I answer some of the questions, and then we can wrap things up. So first of all, Krilly says, I like the new dashboard, but I've sent feedback via email about the need to have one page for a list of abbreviations to make it newbie friendly. Yes, and we are in the process of adding a glossary so that people will be able to quickly scan for terms which they are unfamiliar with. So thank you for that feedback. We like to try and keep the words a little bit short because it makes it a little bit more mobile friendly. So we may go with that and have an abbreviation glossary as opposed to trying to fit the full terms of everything on the interface. And from Tim, it says, just curious, why did you move from the Molchanovs app to the dashboard? Will it integrate with the app? That's a great question. So the app unfortunately, what didn't allow us to do all of this type of functionality that we're describing now, awarding badges, having leaderboards, being able to create a more interactive experience for our community. And so we are going to be transitioning off of the application and off of community.molchanovs.com, and that's going to come soon. Because we feel like this is a more representative tool for our community. Framework limitation, it's a little bit more, so we were working with a specific platform, and the platform just has some specific functionality, and it's more kind of geared towards general community as opposed to things which are freediving specific. Okay.
On Facebook, we don't have any questions. We have Jessica that when you comment on the naturalist one, she said, "Oh my God, I would love this badge." And we have saying that they'd definitely be interested in being part of the movement.
Well, and so one request on that is that if you are interested in joining the movement, please do let us know. Maria, what's the best way to get in contact us for that? Is that to email you?
You can do it through Facebook Messenger or Instagram direct message. We check them all the time. And then I write them down.
Yeah, so either. And does that when we all move from the app to the dashboard? Yes, that does. And is there additional languages that will be available soon? So currently we have Russian and traditional Chinese. We do plan to add languages. So the languages, the languages, for example, that we're working on our manuals is we have simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Korean, Spanish, and German, and they are in various degrees of launching out. And once we get the manuals out, we will also likely to be, we'll also be moving the dashboard into those languages as well. It's not going to be a super fast process though, because it takes some time to get the language correct and make sure that it's properly done. Arabic, it's a great question actually. So Arabic has been one of the ones that we are thinking about putting on the roadmap because we understand that that's an underserved freediving community. Hebrew, that's the first time I've seen the request actually. And if we get a lot of requests for a particular language, then we'll definitely take a look at that and try and move in that direction as well. Okay, yeah. So if there isn't any further questions, if you do want to join the Molchanovs movement, please do contact Maria, our coordinator, and she'll get you set up. We actually have a pilot program for freedivers from other certification bodies starting quite soon, and then we'll have we'll have a limited beta that we're going to be running before the end of the month.
Awesome. Okay. Theo has a message.
Yeah, thank you, Theo. Thanks for the offer. Would appreciate it. What languages do you speak? Theo is offering to help with some of the closed captionings for the videos. Filipino. Well, I mentioned this earlier, but the Philippines is our #1 source of traffic for the dashboard currently. And so we love the Philippines and the Filipinos. And so we really appreciate your help on that.
Awesome.
Great. Okay, thank you guys for your attention. Thank you, Maria, for facilitating,
No,
and thanks you for tuning in.
all right. Thank you guys for watching on Facebook. We had a few people also on Instagram Live and on our webinar. It's always great to hear your comments, and if you're interested, send us a DM or send us a message on Facebook. We'll be checking. We check it every day, all the time. So we'll be sure to write you down. Thanks, Chris. I know it's late over in Singapore, so have a good night. And let me stop here.
Okay. Thanks, Maria.
All right. Bye-bye.